In order, declare quorum. I'm going to ask Ms. Gento, she would say that, lead us in a word of prayer.
Father, I just want to thank you for this day. Just thank you for the freedom that we have to come, dear Lord, and offer up a prayer for the business that's about to begin. I pray to Lord for wisdom and clarity, dear Lord, on the decisions that need to be made here today and in the future. I pray blessings, dear Lord, and wisdom over each of them. I thank you, dear Lord, for giving us the rain that we needed. I pray, dear Lord, you'll bring more on your land. And I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
And we'll just add Robert's father to this prayer as well. Lord, thank you. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to ask the commissioners if they would permit a little agenda swapping around. We have Sharon Dooley with the Small Business Administration. She's going to be talking about, and I appreciate Julie being here so we can get on the Microplex. But she's going to, Sharon, would you come forward and have a seat, make yourself comfortable, and kind of give us the rundown. This is for the mainly for you guys to know, and obviously this is the commissioner from down there, Ronnie Wilson, but also so that we can get the word out to other people that are potentially affected. So I'll let you get going.
Thank you, Judge and Commissioner, for having me here this morning. My name is Sharon Dooley. I'm with the U.S. Small Business Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience. That's a lot, so I'll just say SBA disaster. We were deployed along with FEMA because all you guys are under President's Declaration. As of yesterday, it's 35 counties included in Texas, and they're still counting, they're still adding. So all of Eastland is there. We come out. And we cover the gap between the uninsured and the underinsured to help with the disaster recovery. So we offer, because it is disaster, because there's different divisions of the SBA, we offer long-term low-interest loans to homeowners, renters, businesses of all sizes, and most nonprofits, including houses of worship that may have sustained damage. And this damage is from April 28th, and they cut off the deadline to June 5th. They finally gave it an ending date. So any damage happened to the storms, tornadoes, flooding, anything during that period is included in this presidential declaration. I said long-term loans, so it's 15 to 30 years to pay back. For homeowners and renters, the interest rate can be as low as 2.688% or as high as 5.375%. That's the highest it will go. For businesses, it can be as low as 4% or as high as 8%. And that you're on the higher end. If you can walk in the bank and get a loan right now, we say credit available elsewhere, then you're going to be on the higher spectrum of the loan. And then for nonprofits, the interest rate is 3.25. That's just all across for nonprofits. Renters may qualify for up to $100,000 for their personal property that may have been damaged. Furniture, clothing, vehicle, anything they can shake up outside that house that they're renting. That's their personal property, so that's what the personal property covers for the renters. Homeowners may qualify for up to $500,000 to repair or replace their primary home, any damage to their primary home. Then on top of that, a homeowner may qualify for an additional $100,000 for their personal property as well, furniture, clothing, or vehicle. Then on top of that, a homeowner may qualify for additional 20% of their verifiable loss for mitigation purposes, and that's to build back better and stronger from any type of disaster, because we don't get to choose what type and when the disaster comes through. So that's what that's for. Put in storm windows, do grading so it falls, water falls away from the home, do a new type of roof. It even includes building a safe room. That's included in mitigation purposes, so just to protect themselves for any other type of disaster. Then businesses may qualify for a maximum of $2 million unless they're a very, very large employer. So like I say, if it was a car manufacturer or a big manufacturer, that $2 million can go up. But businesses, that's a combination of two different types of loans. There's physical damage like everybody else. Then a business may qualify for economic injury disaster loan, which we call EIDL. That means they may not have received any physical damage, but because of this disaster, people don't know their business is open, or maybe debris was in the road, they couldn't get to their business. So when the deadline for physical for everybody is July 16th. That is the deadline to apply for the physical damage, July 16th. Economic entry for businesses only, because only businesses qualify for that economic entry. And that deadline is February 18th of 2025. And that's because when you first go out, you look at the physical. The businesses don't realize how much revenue they may have lost due to that. So that is a longer deadline. We asked 3 things: credit history satisfactory to SBA. And I say that because our credit criteria is lower because our loans come directly from the federal government, so there's no bank involved. So somebody can have a credit score as low as 575 to 580 and still be approved for one of these type of loans. Next thing we ask is that they have to have the ability to repay these loans. So on that part, somebody can have excellent credit but cannot stretch another monthly payment out of their income, and that's a reason to be denied. And the third thing they ask is that they must, if they're approved, obtain and maintain any type of insurance. So if it's a homeowner, you can have to have homeowners insurance. If you're now considered to be in a flood zone, you're going to have flood insurance. So that's what they require to obtain one of these loans. It is any loan over $25,000. They do ask for collateral. They like to use real estate if it's available. That being said, if somebody does not have collateral, that does not necessarily mean they won't get a loan. They just like to be pledged if they have it. And I always tell them there is a way around it, because I've been in many disaster declarations, and they're like, I don't want a lien on my home. Well, if you take $24,999, there is no lien. So that $1 makes a difference. Then I always tell businesses there's a way to almost get $50,000 without a lien, because you can do that on the physical and also on the economic injury disaster loan. So that's almost $50,000 a business can get without having a lien on their real estate. And with business, if they have equipment or other assets they want to offset that loan with versus using their building, they will work more on that. Everybody's, it's different for everybody's situation. It's different. That's why I can't tell everybody exactly what your interest rate would be. I'm not the loan officer, but I can tell you what the max and the minimum it will be. Let me make sure I cover that. So the good thing about these loans, we are here for long-term recovery. So it's no interest for the first 12 months on these loans. There is no payment due until the 12th month after they receive the initial loan proceeds. So if somebody was to have applied today, been approved today, applied and been approved and got money today, their first payment will not be due until this time next year, this very same day next year. Because we're here to help them, recover. So we don't expect you to get a loan and tell you 30 days later, you got to make a payment. They can take one of these loans, and if they're approved, they can use the SBA loan to pay their insurance deductible. So you can use that. They don't have to, we can't duplicate benefits. So if FEMA gave them some of, they have insurance, we can't duplicate what those agencies will do, but they can apply and be approved for an SBA loan for the total amount of their damages. When that insurance claims comes through, they're pledging to pay SBA back the difference when it comes through. So they don't have to wait. I know in other situations, other agencies, you have to wait till the insurance claims comes through. They don't for SBA. If somebody had a previous disaster loan or any federal loan, this does not stop them from getting a loan, be approved for a federal disaster loan this time. Only thing is, we can't consolidate those loan payments. So if a disaster happened last year or last month and they got a loan, they have to be able to make those 2 different loan payments on that monthly. And they do have to be current on any other federal loan that they have in order to be approved. I always encourage people, if you are denied, if you get a denial letter from SBA, I tell them to read it thoroughly. Because sometimes a denial is not an actual denial. It just means you need to submit more documentation. But I've been in a lot of disaster declarations, people see denial and they trash it. And then they come back around at the end and I'm like, well, I was denied an SBA loan. I'm like, well, can you tell me why? They was like, well, no. I'm like, did you not read your letter? It was like, no, I saw a denial and I trashed it. I said, well, you need to read it thoroughly because sometimes you just might need to submit more documentation. However, if somebody does get an actual denial, they have 6 months to file what we call reconsideration / an appeal. And we can still work with them as long as they get their documentation in or whatever. Sometimes people have a little stuff on their credit that they can go ahead and fix. And within 6 months, you can be approved for a loan. Long as they're in our system by the deadline, we can work with them and, they have that 6 months to file an appeal on that disaster deadline. Now, excuse me, I tell them that because it makes a difference, having to pay the loan now or pay it later, it makes a difference. But they're under no obligation to take the loan if they're approved for it. They can take some of the loan, all of the loan, or none of the loan. I always tell them it's best to have the resources and not need them, to need them and can't get them because our deadline has passed you by. Now they can go down to the cold quit park where they are. I know they're going to be here 7 to 7 in the morning, 7 in the evening. Supposed to close on Wednesday at the close of business. I don't know if they're going to extend it or not, but that right now that is the 12th is the deadline, so they can get it in there. That being said, they can also apply online at sba.gov/disaster, where they can call our 800 number at 1-800-659-2955. I tell people it's best to go when we have one of these disaster recovery centers on the ground because they can get face-to-face, one-on-one assistance. And actually, at these centers, they are actually typing their information in and putting their application in, and they know they're in the system. A lot of times people say, I can do it online, but they think they've been through it and they haven't completed the process. So now you're really not in our system and we can't help you if the deadline passes you by. I'm here for any questions. This is what I do. I come out and I give a presentation, let everybody know what we do, and how you can help me is get this information out as far and as wide as possible. And Judge, I just got on the way here, I got an amendment to our fact sheet. That means more counties were added. So I will send it over to Shelby and you guys and let you know, okay, these are the counties there. But Eastland County is already in there, but we still getting more. So like right now it's up to 35 counties and they're still being added every day.
Do you mind saying that phone number one more time, man?
1-800-659-2955. They can also call that if they are in the system and get a status update. And now, if they have applied, they can also go down to that DRC Disaster Recovery Center and they can pull it up and tell them where they are and what they need to do or just where they are. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, Sharon was at the community meeting Friday, and that was one thing that I tried to tell everybody is you're a whole lot better off going to that disaster recovery center because you are sitting across from a human, and they can bring your stuff up right then, and the other people that are that might have problems with technology, they can just sit there, bring their stuff, and have them submit it, and then it's right.
Exactly. And I mean, they can also call that 800 number, but to be honest with you, every time you 800, you call that 800, you're probably going to get somebody else different. So that's why I say it's best to go face to face.
Yeah. You happen to know how many people have showed up down there, or asked for any kind of
32. 32 showed up.
So 32 have asked for assistance.
Oh, I don't know. No, 32 showed up Friday for that meeting. I can look. I know it's so far. I can't tell you how many exactly have applied, but I know over $455,000 have been approved so far. And that's for not just one county. It's so far this whole declaration, but that's not counting for things that are still being processed. But so far, that's how much has been approved. So people are applying and people are getting assistance. So it's going to go up. It always does. It goes up because as they process our numbers, they show us the numbers.
And give me the deadlines again for everything.
The deadline to apply for physical damage is July 16th. And then for the economic injury for businesses, because only businesses can apply for that EIDL loan, it's February 18th, 2025. So that's July 16th it's a little bit ways, but you still need to get in because that's how we tell people. Everybody always say, well, how long does it take? Can't give you a definite answer because I don't know how long it's going to take you to submit all your documentation, but the faster they get it in, that's the faster they can get it processed.
And you said once approved, then it'd be a whole year before the payment is due? Does
Yes,
interest build up?
No, ma'am. No interest accrues for that first 12 months. Okay. So when I tell people if you happen to come in some money, you want to pay it off early, there's no prepayment penalty. If you pay it off within those 12 months before that 12 months over, that's interest, no interest. So you just loaning it and just paying it right back with nothing.
Y'all need to be financing cars.
But you know what? Now, if somebody had a vehicle that was damaged, they can do that. And in some instances, it depends on how much damage was done to that house. If they have a pre-existing mortgage, they may be able to refinance that mortgage into that disaster loan. But I always tell people it only makes sense if you're getting a lower interest rate than what your home is in already. Or if you're not getting a lower interest rate, but you don't want to pay for 12 months. That's another thing. So we do have the ability to refinance some mortgages.
Good deal. Lonnie, you need anything else from me?
No,
This
sir.
is your area down there, but of course it affects all of us.
Glad you're there helping them all you can.
And I have a card. I'll give you a card if there's any community meet. I'm gonna be going out on vacation on Thursday, but hopefully they'll get somebody that works as hard as I do to take the place, because our job is to get out, get this information out, and make sure everybody that needs the help gets it and fully understand exactly where we're going, what we're offering. Because a lot of people here loan, they're like, I don't want a loan, but you got to listen to the terms, because sometimes it may be your only option, but then you have a year to get yourself, recover and get yourself back to where you can take care of everything.
Yeah, Sharon, of course, has been doing a lot of traveling with all these disasters and stuff, and so she told me up front, said, "Don't get between me and that vacation." She said, "Somebody will be here."
I can't tell you who, but hopefully they'll send somebody that, still, because I'm going on vacation, but I still set things in motion. Okay, I'll get back on the 2nd. I'll do this on the 8th. So even if I got to do it virtually, because I'm committed to making sure everybody gets it.
I really appreciate that. Well, you done.
Okay.
Have a good time.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you. All right, well, we'll go back in our order now. And start on the consent agenda.
I have the minutes of May the 28th. I did not receive a personnel report.
I didn't get any minutes.
I sent them to you. You want to look at them?
No, I don't want to look at them. I didn't even miss them until you said something, but I didn't get no minutes.
Yeah, I sent them out the same day.
I didn't get any.
I'm sorry. Okay. You don't want to look at them?
No, we were there.
Okay. No personnel report.
Yeah, there was.
There was?
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
Nothing wrong.
Is there?
Yeah, it was at
Um,
no terminations.
Okay.
I got a personnel report.
Yeah.
Certification of additional revenue. I did not get any.
There are not any.
Okay.
Let's see.
Amendment changes by fund. I have one correction and one regular.
2 corrections, 1 regular.
Okay. Thank you. I did not see an investment report.
Not at this meeting.
And then the auditor treasurers, I have an unreconciled report from June the 5th.
Yes.
Financial reports from departments. I have the tax collector, DMV, constables 1 and 2, JP 1 and 2, sheriff, county clerk, district clerk, AgriLife, ECAD. Then I have 9 sets of bills, claims, and accounts, I
Yes.
believe. Okay. No certificates on open meetings, public information, or cybersecurity, and no purchasing acknowledgements.
That's correct. No new employees.
No, I thought I had one, but I don't guess I do.
What's that?
Of the May minutes. But
Yeah.
we can get to May minutes if you guys want us to review it, but y'all were here.
I'm good. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm passing around.
Okay. Soretta, did you have something?
I do not have anything additional. Oh, they want to go over since we're going into budget season, the report, the financial report.
You need this one.
What's the number on that?
3C4.
Let's see. Got it.
The first section of that report is the statement of cash position, and normally on these regular meeting reports, I just do the summary, but because we are about to go into budget, I went ahead and did the full report showing all the cash accounts and what's in the
I didn't
individual.
print it, but I pulled it up because it said 93 pages.
Yes,
back off.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Yeah, nope.
So it's there if you want it. Then the balance sheet, I believe.
Still trying to keep going. I'm still trying to get it to flip.
Yes. Then it's the balance sheet. And there should be a statement of revenue and expense in here also. And I believe I did the summary on that one. Yes, statement of revenue and expense is after the statement of cash position. And then the last page is the lease purchase agreements that we still have on the, I think there's 4, and it's on road and bridge equipment. And that's all I have.
Okay. Just a general question for me to know, but is that how we're doing most of our equipment purchases? Is just on the lease purchase?
The larger stuff is.
Yeah. So that-
Sometimes if we had money in our budget, we'd try to buy it out of there, Judge. I know Andy bought stuff. I had to.
Yeah.
But the large stuff, that's what we do.
But that was also back when the interest rate was
Very low.
Very low.
Okay. Have a motion?
I'll make it go.
Motion by Mr. Raines, second by Mr. Maxwell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
All right.
Do you have your copies already?
I'm sorry. Oh, have a stack.
Okay.
Thank you. I wonder what the interest rate be right now, Mr. Ray, like we go through banks.
Probably, I don't know. I would imagine close to 8%.
About 8.
Well, if you do one of those lease purchase deals, and let's say it was, and I'm just throwing this out there, and it was for 8%, if the interest rate drops, is there a way to lease it, or are you kind of stuck? Stuck like Chuck.
Yeah. Should I put my man on yet?
It's supposed to rain.
I don't know. Like standing in the way to make sure it does.
I'm ready to just drive in.
Yeah, I heard back from Walter and Daryl Fox. Is I usually just grab a sheet from different parts of the county. I hadn't heard back from Josh yet, but they were all like, "Well, there's rain in the forecast." So Daryl said they did fight a few fires that were started from a controlled burn.
Yeah.
Took that one off 717.
Yeah, right.
These are all these if you want to start.
There's a bunch of pages.
And why don't copies work? Sheriff, isn't there a best evidence rule? The copy is as good as the original. and criminal courts.
And in fact, we usually only have one original.
I think somebody just likes watching me sign my name.
Well, it's not me.
I wasn't going to call you by name.
Well, I'm just pointing that out. Yes, ma'am.
There you go, sir. So were they going to get back to you on that hazard mitigation deal?
No, but I'm gonna send her an email because we really need to know about that grant before we go in the budget because it will be another department because it's gonna have personnel in it.
Oh,
Yeah. So we kind of need to know a timeline on that so that we can prep going into the budget cycle for all that. Be a lot
is
easier.
it going to be a reimbursement grant or a,
No, not that I know of, Loretta. It's just money coming straight in.
they'll pay us money up front? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
We're all about getting money up front.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it'd be a whole lot easier to go into the budget process, creating those departments, than it will be to try to add the departments after we get started
Mm-hmm.
in the next year.
Okay, we got everything signed? Good.
Because in all honesty, I don't even remember what the pay rates we chose were for the two people. And that kind of stuff.
Well, that's a whole other topic, who those two people are.
Yeah, well, they had to go through the hiring process and all that. But
And is that, I guess it's a temporary position though.
it's 5 years.
Well,
It's a
I mean,
5-year grant.
still,
Yeah.
it's not full time.
I don't know, for 5 years, you're probably going to want somebody that's going to stay the 5 years.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you need
No,
to give them
The
benefits.
benefits were figured into the grant.
So they're going to get, that
Yeah.
that position would have
It'll be a
benefits and,
full-time employee.
It'll just be a grant
It'll
funded.
be, yeah, for the term of that 5 years. Because that's that's my understanding in reading it, they'll fund the entire grant up front for the 5 years. So you've got a budget plan that, out of that 9 million, the employees are coming out of that for the 5 years. Equipment for them coming out of it for the 5 years. What we'll have is the equipment that we're turning for.
At the end of that 5 years, so the equipment they have, what are we doing with that?
That belongs to the county, but here again, that equipment also falls underneath the same use restrictions or use purposes as the equipment you get right now. So if you say they get a pickup and at the end of that 5 years, that position is eliminated, you get that pickup, you've got to do the paperwork for that pickup every month showing you use that pickup 10 hours for that month, for that wildfire.
yeah,
Well, they'll be
Mitigation.
doing that though, won't they?
Do what? Yeah, they'll be doing it for that. But what I'm saying is at the end of that 5 years, the paperwork doesn't stop at 5 years for us for that equipment. That paperwork goes until that equipment's value is less than $5,000. So
At the end of 5 years, I guarantee you.
in your case, James, probably a couple of months. But other than that,
Yeah, I
That's
guarantee you. Cutting all that,
well, that's the whole deal.
it won't last 5 years.
Every piece of that equipment, that paperwork that you've got to generate has got to be generated until the value of that equipment drops below $5,000, whether it's 5 years or 25 years.
Yeah.
Are you signing what you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
He could.
Yeah.
We'll let it. We're almost done.
Okay.
I'm good to go.
All right. D. Gary Merrill and Chris Wegener
Burn ban.
with all copy. Oh, we forgot the burn ban. Like I said, I only heard from two chiefs, and they said with rain and forecast, they were okay with the burn ban staying off. So, okay. Well, we'll just leave it off. D. Gary Merrill and Chris Wegener with all copy to present proposal to replace existing Eastland County copy release agreement. Yes.
Emergency amendments.
There's none.
Yeah.
None.
None.
Morning, all.
Here, you can come up here too.
I'll let him do it since there's most of one.
Well, I'll get you a chair.
No, sir, he's one call.
You can sit on the table.
Dance a little. All right, before we get started and I show you some savings, I'll copy Chris and I have walked through all the campuses or all of the buildings and surveyed all the equipment. And what we're going to propose to you is consistent. All the machines will be the same. That's kind of important for if another person goes to another department, stuff like that. They can still do copies by putting in a code and they understand how to work the machine because we'll do the training for those. In our research, we went back 5 years or longer on all the devices and got meter reads, based on a monthly usage, and what you're paying for based on your contracts. And I'm going to pass out now a cost comparison. I'll just pass them out that way.
Yes.
Okay. This is your actual usage and cost. By department. Okay. I got a few extras, didn't we? I did good then.
Let me give Sonia one.
If you look, we've done it by device, but what I've highlighted in green there is going to be your average monthly savings by changing vendors. Included in this, you've got a couple of contracts, one with Xerox and with the other devices. Some of the machines have already reached term. So in other words, you can cancel those, they'll pick them up. There's about 8 of those, right, Loretta? Those will be returned. The rest of the devices have some term left on the agreement. Within this number that I'm giving to you, we're going to be cutting a check back to the county to pay the remaining stream of payments, your obligation to those contracts that are still there. Those machines will then be stored at our facility, so they don't encumber you in any way. We're an insured and bonded area. We'll just put them in our warehouse wrapped up. And as they come to term, we'll send them back here for them to pick up or return them wherever they need to go. Okay. So you don't have that encumbrance of storing these devices and worrying about them. We'll do that for you. The technology that we're putting in, I don't know if I have.
Hang on a second. How many of those do we have that are would still be during the term of the contract?
About 8.
Okay.
Okay.
May I ask
Well-
you something?
Mm-hmm.
Epson? I don't, okay,
Yeah, these are
right
what
here.
you have, and this is what we're proposing.
Got you, okay.
And I'm assuming that all of these are going to have the same capabilities.
Yes.
So there's, with the clerk here, with one of our clerks here, is there any weird stuff that the clerk's office got to do with copy machines?
Yeah.
You just don't want them to break, do you?
Well, they can't break.
We don't.
Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of Epson. So,
Epson as in the small desktop printers
as in anything Epson.
Really?
I'm a HP and a Ricoh.
Well, let me tell you a little differences in where Epson is. It's a 110-year-old company. Mm-hmm. They came to the market with inkjet technology versus toner-based. One of the reasons we can come in at the prices that we are, the inkjet technology makes it there's no heat in there, there's no developer, there's no fuser section to fuse the toner to the paper.
I gotta have that.
It will look like, I promise you, your copies will look as good as the HP.
Well, I'm sure they look pretty, but I can't have someone going and rubbing it off.
It does not
or
rub.
It fading out.
It does not rub off, and it will not fade. You can tip water on it, it'll stain like it would a copy. One thing different about the ink, it dries completely before you'll ever get it. They won't stick together. That doesn't happen. You know, if you put a toner-based copy in heat, it will stick together, but the ink will not. Okay. It won't.
We have physically put them in water overnight to show customers that they will not smear or run or separate from the page.
And we've got a lot of school districts and heavy users that love the Epson that did have toner-based machines.
What about your security of what's ran through there, your memory, your motherboard, whatever that thing is, and then it holds all the memory with the DLs and
Yeah, you're not going to lose any of that with this. And they'll still
how
scan.
secure is it?
How secure is it? Well, that really depends on IT. We can make them a lot more secure. You know, that's going to be an outside source or a third-party source that can, you know, protect your network that way. You know, we have.
Ran as fast as the Xerox?
Yes, now some of them will be faster than what you currently have. Okay. They're all going to be 50 pages per minute. You know, that's color and black and white. So
Because it's ink, it doesn't have to have the fuser warm up to 355 degrees to melt the toner, so you will get your first page faster and you get a higher speed than the ones you currently have.
Yeah, crazy.
How much more expensive is the ink?
What's that?
I played Xerox a long
yeah,
time ago.
most of our clients have.
Well, and it's covered
We
in our
also
maintenance.
do HP
So
and Canon.
we won't,
You know, but
we won't pay for the ink versus
it
toner.
just depends.
Because we don't
you
pay
know,
for
your
toner now.
preferences. I think I could swing you.
Because I'm
our
on a
direction, I really-
volume of copies.
Yes, I know. You're doing about 32,000 pages a month.
If you're
These will
working-
handle at least 150,000, and they're good for 6 million pages overall.
Yeah.
Our response time right now is about an hour and a half to 2. For some reason,
Everybody
you
uses
need a service call.
Xerox.
2 hours.
Or
to-
we go.
Everybody quality
That, well,
and
yeah,
absolute
to actually make the call. We'll probably call you before when you make the call. You know, a technician or someone will tell you when we'll be there. It's usually within 2
Are you
hours.
going to make us troubleshoot it before you send someone out?
We don't triage. We don't let you do that.
Because I will do that.
The one thing we will ask you to do is the machine has it'll come with an error code.
Of
Just
course.
look at the screen, call us, that tells us what's wrong with it.
Sure. Sure.
We also can remote into them and fix them in a lot of cases, so we don't even have to come out. Because I can see the machines online as well, and if it's something we can do online, we'll do that.
Okay.
So the monthly savings basically is $472.44. Annual savings is about $56.69.23, and then they're saying the term savings. So what's the term for?
5 years.
So the term's for 5
Yeah,
years.
63 months actually. That's a pretty substantial savings. The ink is supplied automatically. We obviously look at the volumes and we'll get it sent out so you don't run out. You'll have a backup on the shelf for each of the devices, you know, just for emergencies, but we'll able to see your volumes and we'll refill them as needed.
How much trouble do y'all have with VoIP on the fax part of it?
How much, I'm sorry?
How much trouble do y'all have with the VoIP system on the fax part of
We
it?
have no issues with that. Loretta asked that question. We did the research and there is no issue. The voiceover will work fine. And all the machines will come with faxes.
They also come with staplers.
Yes, and that can be internal or external, and that's your
Be
choice.
deleted.
Oh,
Hate staples.
Also, and to what Kathy was saying, most of our machines are set up to automatically wipe the hard drive that stores the information nightly. Will yours do that also?
Can I get back to you on that?
Yes.
You do it nightly, so it just, I think we could do it actually remotely. I haven't had that either. I'll find out for you and get back to you.
Okay.
I'm assuming if they can do it, we can do it.
Okay.
I would think.
Okay.
Because most of the time they wait till the end of the term and then you do the hard drive at the end of the term before you turn the machine in.
A lot of our offices forget to ask them to do that. So we're just telling them to set them up to wipe nightly.
To wipe it out. Okay.
Or
Alright.
even periodically.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
Yeah, it
be-
would seem like that'd be just a programming deal.
Yeah, and that's just something I can put in file. I know I can do it. I just don't know if we can do it daily. But I know we can do wipe them out when needed, or wipe the information out.
Yes, sir.
Do y'all have a bypass tray on that?
Yes,
Okay, and can you do external and internal staples?
yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the
Do you-
finisher, you probably have an external finisher where
I
you
do.
need to store documents. So I just need to know that you need that. I know I probably set that one up because you're the higher user. So you would have an external finisher. They also have booklet makers if you're interested. Some of the departments use those where you can put, they saddle stitch booklets together for you. The machines handle cardstock, heavy weights, light paper.
Robert's got a cheaper price somewhere.
No, it's his. How come the price is different on the sheet? That was emailed to us.
It's like we could save a lot of money if we just started charging the auditor for copies.
It is $100 off, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice catch. My boo-boo.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
I would have waited till we said okay and then asked.
Well,
Do y'all have any that are dual network?
Yes.
I need a dual network when out of dispatch.
What do you mean by dual network, Sheriff?
It runs it'll print off two separate different networks because I can't tie in TLET's network to our network for security reasons. So they can't turn off normal stuff if it doesn't have two networks. It's a
The federal government deal. Mandate to the state.
One feature for you, you probably already have it, ID cards. If you're scanning licenses and things like that, you can scan both sides without having to put it in. It'll come out on one page. All those little features we'll train you with inside the machine.
Has a top feeder,
Yes,
flatbed.
yes.
Where do you have it?
Heavily.
Yes,
The
sir.
hard drive can be wiped every day.
Okay.
Yes.
Automatically.
Automatically, yes.
Yes.
So yes, we can do that.
Yeah.
Which is a good price.
I'm gonna do what I need to do, and it's on. You get $100 more savings. That's not so bad, is it? I mean, it's there. I don't know. I probably typed it in. My bad.
How long have y'all been in business?
About 10 years ago.
Did y'all buy someone out?
No, we started from scratch.
Do you service any counties?
I think we do Anson,
Jones County.
Jones County.
Jones County.
Where's Breckenridge?
Stevens.
Stevens.
Stevens. We
Yeah.
do their courthouse.
how long it take to get service?
That's the best
Right.
part. So we have the most highly trained technicians in our area. We'll get here fast. We're gonna get you taken care of. If it's something that we cannot fix, we will replace it.
Or give you a loaner. If it's something that needs to go back in for repair. The machines are guaranteed for the term of the lease. If they don't run to your satisfaction or to manufacturer's specs, we'll replace it of something greater or equal value, as long as you have a maintenance agreement with us.
And your maintenance for the court's information is the same as Xerox and Rico. It covers all toner, all parts.
Parts, all labor,
Okay.
except staples. We have to buy them from the manufacturer, and you guys can go to copierstaples.com and get it for half of what we have to sell it to you for. So I'll give you that website. Just order your staples from there. We don't make money on staples. The manufacturer does.
Well, I like the fact that that we're saving money, obviously, by the month, and that there's an annual savings, and obviously that there'd be $28,000 worth of savings during the term of the agreement. course, I'd like to see, have you seen the lease agreement?
No, we'd have to run that through DA's office.
Well, no, but I'm just wondering if because we're not approving at this meeting.
If the court approved, it would have to be based on approval by
Contingents.
legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's here's a copy of it. Right, I
It's
think.
actually the next item, Judge.
I know, but without the DA's office looking at it.
Then there's non-appropriations thing.
There is a non-appropriation, okay.
You were gonna ask me that, weren't you?
Yes, that was the next
And
thing.
your tax exempt, which is good.
Okay.
Anytime you need an asset report or an amortization schedule, all you have to do is call me or call that company and
they would
get it to
still
them too.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would that go against contract with like Rico and Rock? Would it be breach of contract with that unit not being in
I doubt that.
the office?
I mean, I doubt that because all you're doing is they're still getting paid. They're getting paid. He's saying that on those 8 or however many it was, that they're going to cut the county a check for buying that out.
Oh, okay, so they're gonna buy them out.
Yeah, I
Okay.
have the information. It's just a matter of the date, that
Yeah.
y'all say, let's do this. And
Did y'all go to dispatch, or did you just go to the
Chris,
buildings?
you go to dispatch? You went to dispatch,
I
right?
thought dispatch was in the sheriff's department, but he said it's in a completely different area.
Mhm.
So I don't think we did go to dispatch.
Well, they're listed.
It's
Well,
listed. I mean, I've got
you have to
information,
have
but I just haven't
access to get in
physically.
there, so if you didn't have access, you didn't get in.
Yeah. No, there's
Yeah, if you didn't go to the gate, you couldn't get through, you didn't go to dispatch.
no, there's your information's on there.
Oh, yeah, we have it, but we
Sure.
just haven't physically seen it.
Yeah, it's showing right now that you're $583.27 a month,
Yeah.
and that you would go to $188.35. Because so I
But
mean,
the only thing-
even though they didn't look at it, there would be
Well, the reason I was asking is because there's not room, and I haven't seen these. I'm gonna look them up when I get back. But there's not room out there for a big one.
Yeah.
They have a smaller
That's
tabletop
the
version.
size, but we can, that's why we cannot physically look at them all.
879.
Yeah, 879 or 579 will fit in there if that doesn't. That's a pretty
Mine
small
would
footprint.
work. We didn't have any of the side stuff.
Yeah, it's a pretty small footprint,
The smallest in his class.
Well, it can't be any worse than the Ricos. They're horrible.
Horrible. No, you guys will really enjoy these.
well,
You will have to work with and convince. It's gonna
My
be.
whole
and I hope
deal
I
is
get the
that
chance to do
I like
that,
the
'cause I really
fact
do
that-
think you like
that-
this.
An extra one of those?
an employee could go from county court to the JP, which we had to happen recently and stuff. She could walk right up to that machine and she could make it hum. I like that part, and I like the standardization of supplies and service and et cetera, et cetera. So that.
Do you guys track usage by department or by person? I mean, everybody could have a 4-digit code. I don't know if you have an employee ID numbers or anything like that. You could go to any machine in the fleet. Just put in your number and it'll print it there.
Yeah,
And they're right down the road, so it's.
yeah, they're right. That's the other thing that they're handling. Yeah, I don't know that.
My 4-digit number.
It'd be nice if we had an ID badge with a scan on it, so we just scan it.
But you can set those up to do that, but that's up to you to get ID cards.
Yeah, well, we can talk to the department heads about, especially during the budget process, we could talk to them about possibly going to a 4-digit ID number
And
or
you can-
something where you could sit there and type that in.
You can do that anytime during
In
the term.
we got 3 people in this office, and JP's got 3 people in their office and stuff. Now Kathy's got a lot more, and Loretta's got more, and DA's got more. So dispatch has got probably the most coming in because he's got 2 a shift coming through there all the time. So anyway, we can talk about that. So what's the pulse rate of the court?
Sounds good, man.
And can I kind of tell you what's happening in the financial world? Governmental Accounting Standards Board is now making us amortize our leases. So if all of our copiers are on one lease, it's much easier to amortize than having to get every single lease and amortize them individually. So this would just make it easier for our independent auditors in my office as well, and the treasurer's office, because they'll be getting one bill.
Right.
One bill for everything.
Well, but the other thing is and we've had this discussion about the deal about how much money we're spending by department on IT stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like being able to have a one-stop shop on how much are we spending on this product or this service or whatever. So I do like that. So we're on E then. Discuss and consider entering into a new lease agreement with all copy to replace all existing Eastland County lease agreements with the understanding that they are going to pay out the leases on the 8 that are still current, and that they would store those for free until that lease is up and then bring those back. And that's with the approval of the district attorney on the contract.
Can I ask something? If you pay those leases out, could they not come get those machines?
Xerox is funny. I don't know about Rico.
Okay.
Yeah.
I meant, if you bought the lease out, then basically you bought the term, and
Well, if we buy the lease out in totality, you're paying a residual value or fair market value on it. Your obligation only is to the lease portion of, or the lease payment portion of that. Not before 90 days, but prior to 45 days before the end of the term, I'll contact you and you have to send a cancellation notice.
okay.
At that time that you're not going to renew, they'll give you an address where we can get the machine to. Okay, but if you didn't, you're going to pay a 10%, 15% residual. Sometimes Rico's probably up around 25% of the original purchase price that you'd pay to get out of it. But your contract obligation is only the lease payment. And we'll work with you. I do this with quite a few customers. We'll contact you at that point that you need to send a letter. I'll compose it for you. You cancel. Then they'll tell you where to put it or where to send it.
Okay, and if we're not 100% satisfied that it's doing the job that we need it to do in my office, you're going to make all my ladies happy in there.
Yes, well, if we find out the speed's not enough. Okay, we're going to do the right.
Hot question.
We're going to do the right thing for you.
Okay.
We want you happy. I want you happy for years. So yeah, I'll work with you on that.
Okay.
And there could be, maybe you need a faster machine
Sounds
or
good.
some accessory that comes with it. So just stay in touch with me.
Okay.
I'll make it work for
Oh,
you.
we will.
I know I can do it.
Yeah. You stepped off in that deal.
And I believe
Boy, I did, didn't I?
You
Ouch.
sure did.
You guys didn't warn me.
there's a performance assurance guarantee. Did I send that to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, where they're guaranteeing.
Okay. Is that where you found the $100?
Yeah.
Okay.
The sheriff has a question about the speed of his machine in the sheriff's office.
How many pages per minute? My Rico's a 50, or do you know?
Let's see.
'Cause I don't need slow.
No, it's a 45 actually. So you're 5 pages a minute quicker.
Nobody got sewing machines.
The one thing you'll find about this machine, if you said file print from your computer, you can't get to the printer before it's done. Can't do it like that. There's no heat, it just prints. Even if it goes to sleep and wakes back
The
up.
Loretta's engine is 900 pages.
Yeah.
Hey, just
I'm
punch
right.
in her code if she does.
That's a good idea.
Loretta's not getting a code.
I don't know how to act. Being able to do my own color copy without having to go to another department to do it. I guess the other question that I've got for you before we actually vote on this deal is that how soon would this swap over occur?
I'm glad you asked that question. I've worked very hard with our vendors.
I'm glad to ask it too.
You know, so that I'd like to do it fairly quickly. I mean, your budget's already set for it is, and your budget's going to be less than what you're spending now. I can make this turn in a couple of 3 weeks, and I kind of need it to do that based on my commitments. If this deal came through with the vendors because I've got some real special pricing for y'all to make this happen. So whenever you want it to happen, we can make it happen. Last thing I wanted to cover for Loretta, is the bills. Okay, you're gonna get one bill from us. It's by machine, by department. And that way you can keep track of who's using copies and know the direct intercompany billing's gonna be exactly where you need
Yeah,
it
but
to
we're not
be.
gonna get 15 bills.
No,
Yeah, Lisa's giving me thumbs up, because right now we get 16 different copier bills.
And those go directly to them, right?
Yeah, it will be one bill that goes to them, they'll code it, and
So let me ask you, we have stored programs in there. Can you store those programs in there? Like if we do criminal court, we have criminal court in there, and end of month reports, it's just a setting we push and it does it.
is it inside the, yes?
Yeah, it's kind of like a, yeah, okay. I
But
figured
it
you
could also,
could.
it could be on your desktop too, right? I mean, it's,
Yeah.
just push. Either way, if it's set up on there, we'll have the memory to do it. It's something I need to look into, and we'll train ourselves to do that.
So y'all will reprogram all of our shortcuts and folders and emails and all the stuff that we have currently in our copy machine? The year's worth of.
Watch this.
That's a
yes. Yeah, just say so.
We will come in, deliver the machines, set the machines up, set them all to print on every computer, train every single individual in those offices. 3 days later, we're gonna come back after you physically got your hands on it, in case you have any questions. And, cause you don't know you got a question until you've got your hands on it. So 3 days later, we're gonna come back. We're gonna do any retraining, any problem solving we need to do. And then on every machine, there's a phone number with our company's phone. At any time y'all can call, we will get you an answer, or we will come fix any problem there is.
I just need to make
To
sure
answer your
our
question.
We're not
scan
gonna drop
folders
off
are back
machines
in there
and just
because we scan everything in.
Yeah, to answer your question, the programs and the documents and contacts that you have, hopefully IT department has maybe a list of all you guys.
what IT department?
Oh, huh?
What IT department?
Yeah.
Okay, all I need is a list of the contacts and things that you have. I have to put it on one machine, then I can push it out to all the others. Okay, we only have to do it once, Chris, and we'll take care of that before we get started.
Yeah, but his contact stuff's gonna be different than ours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But we can push it to all if you need it, so I just need to get it in a little advance. I'll have it programmed before we bring it out.
And it's secure, so like, I can't see his, he can't see mine, and, okay.
How am I gonna punch in your code?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fixing a punch.
And
We all have some sensitive
One of
stuff.
the
but
questions I asked when I first visited with them is right now we call for service on our copier. They want us to go basically do
The troubleshooting.
the troubleshooting, and we're spending our time, and then we end up telling them just send somebody anyway.
Yeah.
They assured us that would not happen.
That's fine.
We don't want the customers to triage.
And
All we have is one error code that comes up. We'll ask for that.
You don't
machine
like
will tell-
bullets through your
give us that.
copy machine?
That will avoid the.
Use a shotgun.
yeah, and this pricing is through Sourcewell, correct?
It's better than Sourcewell.
Okay, but
We're
I
on
need
the Sourcewell, yeah.
yes, I need
Yeah.
a cooperative. That
Yeah, there is a
prices.
yes.
Okay.
Who are the 8 leases? Do you know?
I don't have my list with me. I do know them.
Okay.
I know juvenile probation is up, and I don't know if they're in order by lease.
They're not,
Okay.
okay?
That's fine.
But I do have a list, and I know which ones those are.
I'm
And
pretty sure I'm on
but I just didn't bring that
I'm
with
always
me.
on a list.
I can assure you, you're on the list.
Okay, I would entertain a motion that, based on what I just said a minute ago, that we, after the approval by the review of the contract by the DA's office, that we swap. So I need a motion from Mr. Wilson, second by Mr. Crenshaw. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
No,
Do you
it don't
need
work.
this signed or
Yes.
wait till-
Oh, I
For
got
now.
it.
It's Ronnie and James.
Have this one.
voting for it.
And this one, all right.
Does
And
the
could we
judge
get
need to sign?
permission for the judge to sign the?
Will you amend your motion?
Order.
Second,
And
to allow the judge to sign?
Yes.
Oh,
Thank you.
I already have that. and we'll get the contract reviewed and get it
Signed
signed
an
off.
email.
Oh,
If you want to sign it now, I can't do much with it till I get the approval from him anyway.
okay.
That saves us a trip if you want.
Can I not scan it to you?
Which one do you want them to sign?
Okay.
They're different.
And could I get permission for the judge to sign the contract once DA's office has reviewed it, please?
We did.
Oh, that was
We
included?
made it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which one do you want to sign, Judge?
They're different.
What
They're
time?
different.
Are they? Well,
Yeah. They're two. One of them's the
Oh,
performance,
that's right.
one of them's the.
yeah,
One of them's the performance
Yeah.
assurance, and the other one's the, basically saying we're going to enter into a lease.
so there ain't no DA anymore.
Oh, that was the initials I was thinking of.
There we go.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Kathy,
you
can I
guys.
get copies of
Yep.
yours?
You guys good to go then?
All right, appreciate your
We'll be
business,
in touch.
folks.
How soon are we gonna start now that we got all that? Well, we gotta get the DA to approve
Just let the
that,
DA, it's a standard lease, it should be very
so I
easy
wouldn't
for
think
him.
it'd be an issue.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get you started this week.
Okay.
We'll get you going.
All right, appreciate y'all very much.
All right, thank you
Thank
guys,
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
See ya.
you.
Look forward to it.
Me too, the challenge is there.
Good luck working with her.
Hey.
Guys are scaring me.
Thank you.
No.
Well, you ought to be scared, I promise.
Good luck.
Okay, F, discuss and approve the TAC renewal notice, Ms. Key.
I sent out the renewal notice to everybody. What it did not include was our experience. I don't think the one I initially sent, the one I gave you this morning, does have our claims experience. Should be in the back.
Yeah.
We got a very good renewal. No increase on health and a slight deduction on dental. Yes, but if you look at our experience, there's one that says 12-month medical report. Mm-hmm. You can see our total contributions. This is on pooled. Hang on just a second. Medical. Oh, this is on the HSA. We paid in $245,409, and they paid out $72,581.95, which we have been over 100% for the last couple of years. So this is good. And then on the PPO, which should be the next page, total contribution $794,183. Total paid out $367,861. And then on dental, the total contributions were $47,960 and paid out $29,786. So our experience this year was our claims were way down, and we needed a low claim year.
Somebody did the right job, didn't they?
Stay healthy.
Well, we hope it's because employees are taking better care of themselves.
I'll make the motion to renew the TAC and allow David to sign it.
Okay. And Judge, I'm going to do you a favor because there are a whole bunch of initials. Initial here,
Yeah,
a sign
I
here.
waited to go to the bathroom because I knew he was going to be busy.
So if you will just do this one, you can have him do yours, or I will just scan and send the signed one to you.
I'll get him.
Oh, so that does work.
Well, no, I'm
So
going to
you
do it
could
in
sit there and
color.
sign that and go and scan it and do all that
It's
other
up
stuff.
to Kathy, whatever she wants to do.
State rest, Your Honor. Okay.
Sign mine now or
I
later,
have to get you an auto pen, man.
Yeah, really.
Judge.
Huh?
You want to sign these after court?
Or I can sign it electronically for you. If you want to
On the
authorize me.
consent agenda?
No, that one document, I can
So why is
sign it
it possible to
electronically.
do it on that one document?
Because it was sent to me where I could do,
Oh, okay. Can you start sending that to Loretta? So we've got a motion by Robert, and who was the second?
Maxwell?
By Mr. Maxwell, All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Almost messed up my deal. Why is there so many initials on there?
They want to make sure that everything was approved.
Did you vote in there?
Yeah.
Did you vote aye?
Well, I voted Ronnie didn't weigh 265 pounds like you wrote on the wall.
Little lie. Most is that way. Look, I take care of myself, so every morning.
Loading that hay.
Yeah.
Must have done it last
I
night.
guarantee you, load and hail, they can sure do it.
Yes, sir.
So I'm the contracting authority.
Yes, you are the contracting authority.
That's a nice savings.
Yeah,
That's a nice savings.
Yeah. It's going on.
Oh, look, here's one that didn't even have a little deal on there.
Really?
I was going to actually.
Yep.
I missed one?
Yep. So you better double check it, make sure.
Okay.
Figure out where to go.
So I got his,
Andy wants his sign.
yeah.
Get in line.
So do you want me to accept the initial stuff too?
Yes,
Oh,
please,
my
sir.
Lord.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
In the future, whatever, say our printer goes out at Cannon Barn, would we be able to contact them and ask them if we can get one from them or?
Printer?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I think they do printers also.
I was gonna ask if they did them. I didn't know if they told you or not.
I'm pretty sure they said they did. But I told them every office did their own printers.
Just get a copy machine
Oh.
and do it all
Yeah.
in there.
Well, that's really what it means.
Yeah,
Would they do that?
Print it, fax, scan. Yeah.
especially if y'all are doing the hazard mitigation, y'all need a copier.
That's what I mean, a copy. of the
Yeah.
printer.
Just build on.
Thank
There we
you,
go.
sir. I appreciate it.
Okay, G, open and accept bids for bulk fuel purchases and award contract with T.
That is not supposed to be on this agenda, so if y'all would just do no action.
Okay, no action.
Table it.
No,
Next one.
yeah, don't table it because it's actually on there, but
Okay.
I'll put it on the next
No
one.
action.
Okay, H from, What's his name?
Jason.
discuss and consider possibly take action, continued discussion of the second partially grant-funded MHMR deputy and vehicle sheriff waiver.
Okay, so last time we spoke about the second MHMR deputy and y'all approved, but I've got a little more information. We've had a couple more meetings since then. The grant is for is just like Harris's grant, which is capped out. It's for the payroll and fringe and all that stuff. But it's capped out at 72. And after, just like Harris's is. And after October 1, the fringe and payroll and everything will be 82, roughly. So there's about a $10,000 difference on the new guy and on Harris's. However, I approached Eastland and Cisco and Ranger, and they've all agreed to pay $6,700 each a year to make up that payroll difference for Harris and the other MHMR person coming in, because they get a substantial benefit out of us having that too, because we service the MHMR for the whole county, including them, and so it's beneficial for them to have it. So they've agreed to do that, but I wanted to make sure that y'all were still good.
Cisco Eastland, right?
Yes. I wanted to make sure that, we're going into this eyes wide open and y'all know everything that's going on with that, and make sure y'all still agreed to the second position on that. of course, needed. I explained all that last time. It's still needed, 2 weeks later. But
And there was a shortfall on the vehicle
there's
as well.
on the vehicle. So they had told us 65,000. After running all the numbers and doing everything, it'll actually be 43,000. So I haven't quite figured that out in my head yet. But I mean, we'll still take their 43,000 and put it to something vehicle wise. But of course, everybody knows that I can't buy a brand new vehicle for 43. I can get one for 51, but not for 43. So, and they're expecting to have the money in June. It's not 100% that they'll have it in June. At the latest, they'll have it in September, which is still a month earlier than us. I'm going to tell them that we probably don't want to go before October 1, I wouldn't think. So there's still some more discussion that needs to be had on, because if they get the money in June, that's also for the payroll too. So there'll be 3 months of payroll that I don't know how that works. What would be done with that? But anyway, I'll look for maybe, I don't know, something used or something. We're gonna, and it's a reimbursement deal too, so we'll have to figure that out. He said we'd spend the 43,000 and then they would cut us a check back.
But you're saying you can get a new one for 51?
Not with anything. That's just the vehicle, not upfitted. So we'll have to figure out the upfit later, which I may be able to sacrifice something that's in one of these older ones. Of course, all the parts won't fit and the cage won't fit, and don't know if the consoles will fit, but we'll be able to do something to get them up and going. I don't want to leave 43,000 on the table if they're willing to.
Well, I guess that's why you can't take like $8,000 out of your budget and add to it.
Possibly.
We haven't got the K yet.
I haven't got to. I haven't got the vehicles I ordered. They were built the 1st of April and they haven't received them yet. So I haven't got those yet either. I'm still working all of it out. I just wanted to make sure that we're all still on track.
Well, I want to commend the sheriff first off for being able to go to the city managers of these 3 different areas and make up $20,000 that we didn't get hit with, and obviously, and he made the point, they benefit from this service as well. The only other point that I would make, and I appreciate him looking at maybe buying a used vehicle, but the only thing I would and I'm saying this just because that was a hat that I wore at one time when we were having to do all our own MHMR stuff. You want to be careful about putting somebody that's got that condition in a vehicle that's potentially going to break down on the side of the road.
Yeah.
It does concern me, because if you're buying a used police car, you're buying a used police car, and you don't know what it's been put through and all that. And that position, the transport positions going all over the state like they do all the time, really need to be in something decent. But I'll look at it and of course, come back with what I figure out, or we can talk about it again.
But you're about $22,000 short on that deal. Is that right?
Well, yeah. Well, yes. About 30. Sorry, man. It's been a long day. It's about $75,000 to upfit. To buy a new one, upfitted, the whole 9 yards. It's about $75,000.
But 65,000 originally is what was.
Is originally what we were thinking.
But that's with the computer. That's with everything. That's with the videos. That's with.
That does not include. No.
The 75 doesn't.
No, sir. That does not include the Motorola camera. That doesn't include the iPad. That's the cages and the console and the radio.
Wow.
Yeah, they have gone through the roof.
We're in the wrong business.
Yes, sir.
And the lights.
I'm not planning on putting. At the moment, I'm not planning on putting a in-car video system in this one. We'll give him a body camera, and that should suffice for what he does. He's not that position generally. Although they generally aren't out making traffic stops and that kind of stuff to justify.
When would that person start?
Well, that's the next question. I foresee October 1, but that would be if they get the money in June, July, August, September. They'll have actually 4 months because their fiscal budget starts September 1. They would actually have 4 months of payroll for that grant. So I don't know what happens with that 4 months of payroll. If not, we've got to amend the budget and do all this stuff and create the department.
Well, and they'll start reimbursing as soon as we have a deputy. I mean, it's a reimbursement grant. So every month I invoice Department of Health Services, or I send it to
Center for Life.
Right. So every month at the end of the month, I send them an invoice and they send a check very quickly. So if you had somebody that could start and they have funding, it's a reimbursement. We'd have to pay it out up front and then they'd reimburse.
I do have somebody on the hook, but the only problem is that that's just the payroll reimbursement. We've got fuel and, all the stuff that goes with that position. It would look pretty much duplicate of what we do with Harris's position now. So there's some other line items that the county does foot the bill for on that deal. So that's why I didn't know. That's kind of why I was seeing October 1 of when we go into budget and all that stuff to talk about that. And I can talk to Center for Life, and we can have another discussion next time again. I'll have a meeting with them between now and then to find out about that 4 months payroll, what happens with that. Is that going to hurt the grant? Will it hurt us? Those kind of questions.
It'd be cool if we could start it as soon as possible. Because I can tell you from that law enforcement hat, there's a definite need for another MHMR deputy because there really is. Harris is
strange
never.
how they figured that out after you catch them, you keep them rule.
Well,
I will say that in the last 5-6 years, the mental health has gone through the roof.
There's more of a focus on it.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it's probably drug induced too. They're just frying themselves.
Self-medicating.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of contributing factors, I think. But back in the day, it was one or two every once in a while kind of thing, and now it's I got half the jail full. It seems like. And they're dealing with it every single day, 7 days a week.
No, Eastland PD is the one that first got the MHMR grant here. So.
Well, that would be entirely up to y'all, of course. If y'all wanted to start it, that'd be great with me. But I also understand, we're in the middle of a budget too. So.
Any other
So
questions
it
for the
would
sheriff?
take an emergency, declaring an emergency and funding it.
But let's wait because they weren't expecting their money till September, and they were told it will probably come in June. Probably. Of course, that's the state, so they aren't funded. They don't have the money in their hand yet.
Yeah, that's what
So let's wait till they have the money in their hand and maybe have another discussion
I'd
about
like to see the funds on deposit with them before we move
it. Sure,
forward.
right,
Especially declaring an emergency.
right.
Is that all right with everybody else? We just wait?
Yep.
Okay. Also on the agenda is Sheriff Wager for consider, discuss, and accept donation in the amount of $6,159 to be used for the Barbara Finley Memorial Highway signs.
Just just like the Maltby signs, they took forever, but we're to that stage now where they have to be paid for. They have to be paid for up front. The state does not pay for them. We buy the signs, all that stuff, and that's been donated. Last time with Maltby signs, we were able to, the donation was able to be wrote straight to the state. And this time they said, no, it has to come from the county. Why, I don't know, because we're going to easily just make this check out to them, but they said no. So I'm asking that we can accept the donation for the Barbara Finley Memorial Highway signs.
And who is it coming from?
This is from the Olvera family.
Oh.
Yeah, second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Maxwell, second by Mr. Crenshaw. Hearing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Do I need to sign this, or will y'all
Is
do
it made
it?
out to you?
Motion carries.
Oh, it's made out to Jose Olvera.
No, it's made out right there. I thought that too.
Okay, to the order of,
Oh, she did it backwards, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll have it redone.
okay. But they can go ahead and
Can
accept
we,
it.
okay.
Okay, no motion passed. KK, also on the agenda. Consider and take action on declaring an emergency, replace the
Well, we
jail.
gotta
wait,
go back to
Jay.
Jay. So I went ahead and put this on there because I need the check. They want to wreck the signs without getting paid first. And so, and I know we do everything, it's got to be done and all that stuff before we pay, but this has got to be done before they'll erect the sign. So I'm asking that as soon as I get this fixed, that the treasurer issue a check to.
And here's
to
my
stop.
problem with that, because the Constitution says we cannot prepay. We are lending credit when we prepay. So, which is why we always wait until something is finished, till we have ownership. When the state pays for it, the state can do, yeah, we won't have ownership of it.
And they won't do it without it.
Well, we're never gonna have ownership of it.
Well, you can't have ownership of something that doesn't exist.
Yeah,
So once it exists, it would belong to the county. So I don't know how to get around that. And we've cut checks and held them before until something was produced, but to actually prepay.
We've had all these conversations. We had all these same conversations with Maltby's with the state, and they're sticklers. They will not erect the signs without the money in their hand.
well,
Will you accept the donation?
And not this time. They did last time. We bypassed all this, and this time they said the check has to come from us.
all right, my recommendation to the court then on J is that we go ahead and approve it, and you just try to work on that to see if we're talking to the wrong person or getting somebody else or whatever, but anyway.
For the treasurers to cut the check? Is that what you're requesting?
Yes.
Well, the treasurer cannot cut the
Okay.
check.
So
So
you're just-
we're going to have to work something out. Either they're going to have to accept the money from the donor. We can't. I mean, the Constitution does not allow us to prepay.
How did we do it last time?
They accepted the check from the donor.
And they won't accept the check this time?
That's what they said. Good
Even
luck
if
changing the state's mind.
Well, I hear that.
And if the state says it's okay, I'm not sure
And
why
who
we
are
can.
we paying? Well, the state does what they want. They
I know it's
tell
different
us what we
rules
can or can't do.
than what happens.
It's still the same Constitution.
It is still the same. I understand that, sir.
So if but if the state's willing to do that, how are we in a position to say no?
I'm just telling you what the Constitution says.
And I'm telling you what the state is doing the same thing, and this is a donation for a highway sign.
I understand. I understand all of that.
Okay. Do you have a recommendation?
Well, he has to get the check redone.
Well, What if the remitter, and are we sending the money to the state? Oh, we're sending it to the state. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. They will not go any further until they have the money in their hand.
Well, why can't and I know you probably said this, and forgive me, but why can't they just accept the donation straight from the person?
We did that last time, and they said not this time. They don't do
They
that
didn't
way
give-
no more
They didn't
or
give
something.
any kind of deal.
No, he just said it has to come from us.
All right, let's go and table this for right now. You and I'll make some phone calls and
Okay.
see where we can do this and stuff. But I have a problem. Not disagreeing with what the auditor's saying, but I have a problem with the states following one part of the Constitution and doing something different. So that's the problem I have. So if the state's willing to do it, we're a subdivision of the state. So we're
Well, and if it's going to the state understands what the Constitution says. I thought it was going to somebody who was making it. a
No,
contract.
it goes to the Department of Transportation.
Okay.
well, if the state going back to the criminal law, if you're relying on higher authority for your actions, then it's permissible. And obviously the state being a subdivision of the state, we're relying on the state to say they're the higher authority in this thing. So I would say let's table it. We'll talk to the district attorney's office, see if or we can make some phone calls or whatever, and then we'll take this up on the very next agenda item. But I'm inclined to move forward with this, especially if the state's saying we're okay with that. And like I said, we're a subdivision of the state. So anyway, you guys okay with us tabling it for now?
So we've already got a motion and accepted and voted on to accept the donation.
Yes,
We're good with that.
we're good with that. We're talking
Okay.
about J, authorizing the county treasurer to immediately move forward. But
Gotcha.
Ginger, when's the next agenda? When's the next commissioner's court? 24th?
Second and fourth.
Could the court approve it based on opinion from legal, whether it's Jim Allison or the DA's office?
Oh, that's a good idea. I'd entertain a motion for that we
I'll make it good.
do that based on the legal opinion of the district attorney, who I think is going to also say, well, the state's doing it. Motion by Mr. Raines, and second by Mr. Wilson. All those in favor say aye. And I vote aye as well on that one. Okay, Kay,
Okay.
boiler.
Well, our boiler is toast. He's got a Band-Aid on it at the moment, and he said that he's scared that it's going to blow a hole in the coil, and we'll be completely done. He said that could happen at any moment, and it's done. He can't fix it any further. In the last 5 years, we've spent $19,000 on that thing, keeping it going.
When did we replace that? Because we've done this before. Declared an emergency and had to replace the boiler.
2010.
No, it was since then because I wasn't on the court then.
That's what I said, he wasn't here.
I wasn't on the court then. We've done it since I've been on the court.
Well, and it hasn't happened since I've been here, but it may have happened in 2019 because there was a bunch of stuff going wrong with it in 2019.
That sounds more like it, Jason.
There were several thousands of dollars spent in 2019 on it.
But it
Trying to
wasn't
get it
replaced.
going. It wasn't replaced.
No, we replaced it. We spent $90,000 on a new boiler sometime. We declared an emergency and got a new boiler over there.
That's not how much a new one costs, right?
34 is what we're looking at.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was 35, and I was thinking it was 85. But we replaced it at one time since I've been on
The last
emergency.
The last thing we could find where we bought one was in 2010.
2010, I was still there.
Maybe that's why you remember it.
Yeah, it could have been. But I was thinking I was here when we've done that. So we've done one since then.
I couldn't tell you, Robert. That's what we found. I talked to Lynn, and he thought that was about right too on that. But I don't know.
Is that 34,000? Is that for the boiler and installation?
Installation, complete, turnkey, redo.
34,000, and here's your new one.
Yeah.
Do you have the quote on it?
Yeah.
How big is that thing?
1 million BTU. We asked if we could go any smaller, and he said no, not with what we run over there. It needs to be. We currently have a 1 million BTU. It'd be replaced with a 1 million.
And it
BTU.
might have been back then, Jason, because we had cut it up. I remember to get it out, it had to be cut up.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Yeah.
So what? Will they cut it up to get it out?
Yeah. This is turnkey.
Who is it? Does it?
It's T&B Mechanical. This is what they do, boilers. Abilene, I believe.
Abilene?
Yeah. Around here somewhere in the big country somewhere. But Abilene, I believe, is where it is.
How long will that job take?
He said once we order it, he's hoping he would have it in about a week, of course, depending on back order and all that stuff. But he said this will be a completely different brand. The one that we have, of course, he's a salesman, but I think he was pretty honest. He's the one that's worked on it for years. He said this one's made in China, and it's got a whole bunch of different motherboards and parts. That the new one is a lot better, and he can get parts a lot better, easier for
The
it.
new one's not China.
No,
Okay. What kind of warranty does that come with?
1 year.
1 year.
That's all we can ever get on anything.
Is there
commercial?
Is there any kind of extended warranty available or anything? Okay.
So you still had to pay freight on this?
Well, that's what that says, but he told me that was turnkey, all in, done deal. I need to ask what that means.
So he said it.
See, because I think that's just a default because sales tax and all that we don't get that.
50% due upon approval, remaining 50% due at the time of invoicing.
And again, we can't do that. We can do progress billing, but we cannot prepay.
Yeah, that was a trick question I was asking you. I wanted to see how you were going to answer.
I usually mark those out.
Anyway, tell him he's going to have to mark that out for us to be able to do that deal. If our commitment from the county is not enough, then.
But this is how long is installation going to take?
I don't know. I mean, it'd have to be, once he gets it, it's going to have to be like right then, because that's our hot water for all the inmates and everything. It'll be pretty quick. It'd have to be done in a day or so, day or two.
Yeah. So you could go ahead and enter a requisition
Have it standing by, yeah.
and cut the check, and it would be ready on the 24th. Or if it's before the 24th, the court wants to approve payment, then Christina, whenever she does her next check run, can.
Yeah, I'm sure he knows. He's been our mechanic for at least 5 years on it, so he knows how we operate on it.
I'll make the motion to declare the emergency.
Motion by Mr. Ray, second by Mr. Maxwell. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Do you want to go
guys.
ahead and approve payment?
Well, I had another one written
Okay.
down. I was just declaring the emergency, make
Okay.
the purchase. Then I'll make the motion to go ahead and make the purchase and pre-payment.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Of course,
Motion by Mr. Rain, second by Mr. Wilson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
it's one of those things we don't plan on
Got one more.
replacing this week, you know.
One more motion.
Retirement
Motion by Mr.
retirees.
Crenshaw to adjourn.
Our cost was and all that.
Second by Mr. Maxwell.
I never did see it.
Yeah,
All
under
those in favor
65.
say aye. We're adjourned. Have a nice day.
Well, yeah, I've seen, but it's not